Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. I'm your host, the Exceptional One, Kim McClinton, Mary Brockman, Dave Milner in our chat roll. And we have a very special guest with us for tonight, and I'm very excited that she's here with us. Yehudis Gottesfeld is with us tonight, NY-17 Congressional candidate. You can find her at yehudisforcongress.com. Yehudis, you are a strong woman. Is that a disadvantage for you in New York?
I don't think so. I think everyone should be able to be themselves, and being yourself is never a disadvantage.
There you go. Tonight, one of the big issues that we're facing is this idea that socialism is the way, the truth, and the light. There are lots of people who, millennials especially, who are adapted to this idea that redistribution of wealth is the most profound way of helping everyone. Your thoughts regarding socialism, is that the way that we should go? What should we do?
Definitely not. I think socialism, the way it's marketed, right? Some people buy things and you go to Target and buy something and then you go home and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have bought that, but it was marketed very attractively. And so socialism is kind of like the same thing, where it's marketed in an attractive way. And people say, oh, we can help other people. Good. Let's help other people. That's the marketing message. Whereas the reality of it, when you get home, you don't have any money because all of your money went to the government, then comes the oh no. And so I think it's a lot of young people, millennials, you see them getting involved in politics, and it's exciting. It's a good thing because they have that heart. But I think it's something new that the Republican Party should focus on more. And I actually am happy to say that I see a lot of Republicans focusing on it, is bringing that heart into the messaging. Because the next generation coming up, that's what we care about. We care about helping other people more than we care about helping ourselves or advancing our own money, kind of our own greed in a way.
Yeah, well, the mark of self-interest is one of the great things about capitalism, because we're always looking out for what is the best interest of self-interest of the individual, and as well, it helps in terms of fulfilling the needs of others.
Right, and I think capitalism, what capitalism does is you're not just looking out for the best interest of yourself. You're saying that you're looking out for everyone, that you're saying everybody has the ability to make the best decisions for themselves. And that's one thing that I actually find insulting with the Democratic Party, where they say that, no, people can't make decisions for themselves. It's a little bit degrading. It's quite degrading, where they say that the government can make a better decision than you can. And whereas capitalism says, no, you can make the best decision for yourself and your family. We believe in you. You can live the American dream. And I think that's a message that doesn't sound as attractive, but in reality, it's way more attractive.
So regarding private property in capitalism, I think was one of the great boons of those that pursued capitalistic endeavors is that you get to own your own destiny, you get to own your own property. However, there are those who are out there now who say, hey, you know what? The government needs to be able to come in and take property that's not bringing in tax revenue. What is your thought in terms of that type of line of thinking?
I mean, I'm always against increased government control where we can prevent it. I think the person should be able to take control if it's as much as possible, right? I think we really don't want the government intervening, especially the government taking away property. I mean, this is like, it feels like we're going back hundreds of years. This should be so far beyond us. I don't know why our society is still going back there, but I think, we have our Constitution, our founding fathers created the framework for this country, and that's the country that we chose to live in. We're proud of everyone who doesn't want to live there. There are other countries, but I think we don't want to take away what our country has in the Constitution and the founding of our country. It makes us who we are.
There are those who are out there who would say that we are stepping. My God, if you just go to college, you can make it. Your thoughts regarding the government's role of taking over the student loan industry, and then secondly, this motif that individuals must go to college in order to make it in our society.
Yeah, so I mean, the government, we see the government shouldn't be taking over student loans. I mean, let's just lay that down there. I think, people have to take responsibility. My entire life has been, I've stepped up and taken responsibility for my life, and that's why I am who I am today. I think we want to breed our kids with a sense of responsibility so that they can take on the future generation. Right? If the government always steps in, if mommy and daddy always steps in, they don't have that same responsibility that they should have as they get older. It's a part of maturity, it's a part of growing up. And so, where, yes, it might be hard sometimes to pay tuition or especially take out college loans. It's difficult and it's challenging. Life isn't easy. Life is full of challenges, but that makes you who you are. It makes you a better person, and it makes you more prepared to take on life in the future and build a better society. And that's what we want. We want our children to be able to build a better society when they get older, to take us over. And what was the second question in terms of
Government actually pretty much taking ownership of the entire student loan industry. It was once covered by banks, but now the student loans have to go through the Department of Education, virtually the U.S. Treasury Department, basically making students indentured servants, literally, until they pay off their student loans.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you always want a free market. You always want to keep the government out. I also don't think people realize that when we say that the money goes to government, it's not like you're getting dollar for dollar, right? If it was dollar for dollar, you might as well just give me my own dollar and I'll keep it and spend it as I wish. Right? The government takes a portion of that. And so, when at the end of the day, there are inefficiencies. So you don't want the government involved when you can do without the government. I think this should be open to a free market. It would help kids in the long run. You can choose your own options, right? When we talk about healthcare, the healthcare being run by the government, where they can't choose their own option, they have to go with the government option. It's never a good thing. I mean, America's based on freedom. That's what we stand for. I mean, the whole basis of being a Republican, right? Whenever anyone asks me why I'm a Republican, the first thing I say is because I believe in freedom, because that's what the Republican Party believes in. And having the government say, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to use, is reducing our freedom as opposed to giving us the option to say, I can choose that or that.
You just got to ask you here. You're in the 17th Congressional District. A lot of college kids in that 17th Congressional, people graduate from college. They got student loans. They take the train into the city. Are you going to tell them that you're not going to bail them out of their student loan debt?
I think it's a matter of responsibility. Sometimes parents have to take the hard road and say, you know what, no, I'm not going to pay for everything in your life because you need to learn responsibility. And it's better for them in the long run. You have to do what's better for people in the long run. You don't give your kid sugar his whole life. You say, no, it's better. Maybe don't have that lolly. It'll help you in the long run.
There you go. I hope you hang on to that. Don't bail out people. It doesn't work. Uh, uh, the question from our chat roll that was made. I got to ask questions from the chat roll. Can't selfishly take you for the whole evening. Dave Milner is asking, what is more important to you, party or conservatism?
Party or conservatism?
Yes.
Obviously, I mean, my values are more important to me than, right? A party stands for certain values, right? So a conservative party would stand for conservative values. And if I can't imagine that changing, but I align with a party because I believe in their values, right? A certain party takes on conservative values. So I guess it could be different, but we don't, I have certain values in my own life. Those are values. I believe in freedom, right? And those are values that I believe should be allowed and spread in the entire country. And that's really what I base my life on.
because you are a very talented woman. A lot of people have come on our program, senators, congressmen, and so on, and everyone says that once I get off that airplane at National Airport, I promise you I'm going to stay strong. And then the next moment they're selling them souls to K Street lobbies. Are you going to remain true to your conservative values, or will you become another politician in the swamp?
I will definitely stay true to my conservative values. I mean, I think I can't speak for any other politicians. I don't even know who we're referring to, but in my life, I've been faced with challenges where other people have had different views. Other people have tried to convince me of having different views, and I've been, bullied and pressured into having different views, and I haven't taken those views. And so I think, stepping off that plane won't be different. It's a part of who I am. It's that I stay strong for what I believe in.
Nuclear energy. Got to ask you here. New York, Virginia, California, and some of the other Atlantic and Pacific states have been fighting tooth and nail against nuclear energy. Will you support nuclear energy and the exploration of oil in areas that are not necessarily the places where environmentalists would call safe havens?
I think we need a diverse portfolio, right? That doesn't mean only nuclear energy, that doesn't mean no nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is a part of that diverse portfolio. Also, when we're talking about environmental and renewables, nuclear energy doesn't emit any CO2. So you don't want to be hypocritical in life, right? You want to have a belief and stick to it. And I think we need a diverse portfolio. A large group of the people who say that, they don't want nuclear say that they don't want any CO2 emissions. So I think we need a diverse portfolio, and of course, at the end of the day, we need to ensure that the consumer is not paying too much for their energy.
There you go. Got to ask you about immigration, because New York has come under a great deal of duress from this administration because it does not agree with the idea that illegal aliens have citizens' rights. Got to ask you here, do you support the bail reform that was done by New York City? Do you agree that it should be supported throughout the state of New York? Do you believe that we should support ICE in every capacity necessary to protect our nation?
Well, we shouldn't. The bail reform should be done. I mean, it's terrible. It's harmful. At the end of the day, we want to help the people in this country, the families, the kids. Those are our future. That's what we elect people for, right? When you go into vote, you say, who has my best interest in mind? And the bail reform just do that. I mean, we have a state senator in our district that was one of the first people that signed that. And it's when you take office, you take on a responsibility and an obligation to help the people in this district, the people that you represent. And this bail reform, this standing for people who are going to kill other people, the standing against our law enforcement who are going to protect us is, I honestly can't comprehend how someone could do that, put their own lives and their children's lives at risk. But it's something we need to get rid of.
In terms of ICE, you have Lowy, there, the congresswoman, and others who are fighting demonstrably hard against the border agents and others. Will you be a strong supporter of funding for the border agent, for the wall, and for enforcement by ICE?
We need to protect the people in this country. It's not even, and I know a lot of the rhetoric has been against the Central Americans. We have a lot of Central Americans in our district, and they're really good people. Honestly, they're some of the hardest workers I've ever met, and I don't know if the rest of America knows that, but they are extremely hard workers. They're religious. In my mind, they're Republicans. They're good people. They work hard for their money, and they want to keep their money, and they don't want the government to control that. And I think there's good people in Central America. We're not trying to prevent those people from coming in. We don't want an open border. Aside from the terrorists in that region who can come in, I mean, what happens when people from the Middle East care about an open border in Mexico and say, oh, I'm going to just take a plane down to the Middle East, walk across the border, and start throwing stones at Americans. Like, we need to do whatever we can to protect Americans.
There you go. I love it. Speaking of throwing stones, you happen to be Jewish. Am I correct? You, you just happen to
My
be.
first name is, yeah.
Are you happy with the way that New York has treated the Jewish community? Um, are there concerns that you have right now?
So I'm not going to blame it on the whole.
Okay.
I believe New York is welcoming to Jews. We do see a lot of Jews in New York, and that definitely testament to the fact that New York is very welcoming to Jews. There are certain actors in New York, and I don't know if I wouldn't blame New York. I haven't looked at any data to say that it's because of certain representatives like Ilana Lamberti is leaving Congress, but there is certain rhetoric that goes in this country that we feel is being said more that is anti-Semitic. And when people hear that, they may tend to act out. And if they're around Jews and they pick up that language, they're likely heard Jews. So that we have a lot of Jews in New York, and so that maybe why we're seeing more anti-Semitism in New York as opposed to some other states. But I wouldn't blame New York, but I do think there's a rhetoric problem when we see it directly in Congress. We need to stop it. We need to call them out for what it is. I mean, when they're sitting there in Congress, that's it. If you say something anti-Semitic, leave. This is America. You aren't here to bully people. You aren't here to hurt people and make them feel bad about who they are.
Do you believe that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is anti-Semitic?
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely been rhetoric from her that has sounded anti-Semitic. When you have a scale of people from like anti-Semitic to anti-Semitic, and then it's like, is this person still anti-Semitic even though they're not here? So it's kind of like that. Like to lead AOC somewhere down there. She obviously supports them, and she's been supporting kind of their rhetoric. So obviously, the person who's supporting it is just as bad as if you're doing it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know them personally. I don't know how anti-Semitic.
Would you reach across the aisle to someone who married their brother? Just asking. Just.
I think at the end of the day, we're all people, and it's policies that I'm looking to put into place. I'm not looking to judge people based on who they are or what they did.
Okay.
I know a lot of the fact that she said that she's married her brother, but at the end of the day, if she can help us put out policies to help the Americans, let's do it.
Got to ask you here. There's one last question regarding the economy, and then there's another question from the chat room. Regarding the economy, people were using the coronavirus to tell us that the stock market was going to drop 50%. The economy is going to go into a grave depression. Do you believe that it's responsible for people to do that?
That it's responsible for people to spread that,
Yes.
to spread that message?
Yes.
I mean, it's a free country. I'm not going to weigh in on, people's personal actions, responsibilities. I think we also kind of see the media, right? I mean, I think everything the media puts out is responsible. We have this fake news, what we call it nowadays. Is it the right thing to do? I personally wouldn't do it, but it is a free country that we do have the American right to say what we want.
You are a grave supporter of the First Amendment, the Bill of Rights, freedom and liberty. This is a major question out of our chat roll. Were you ever a bartender? Love you, Mary. Love you, Mary.
I was not.
How can people support your campaign? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said thank you. Whoever gave that question, it gave me a good laugh.
It seems to be a requirement for young people who go to Congress. You have to be a bartender, at least one month as a bartender. Got to ask you here: how can people support your campaign? What can we do to make sure that you get to Washington D.C.?
Yes, so you can go to usersforcongress.com. There's a volunteer button and a donate button, and join on the campaign, help out, and show your support.
There you go.
That's how you can. The more people, the more people, the stronger we are. And I think there are a lot of young Republicans, conservatives in this country, and a lot of us have been bullied to stay quiet. And I mean, I've seen it in my community. I've seen it in just New York in general. And I think we should take a stand and say, no, this is who we are. You can't bully us. I mean, the Democrat Party likes to bully people. They like to tell women, oh, you have to vote for Democrat because you're a woman, or Hispanics or Black, you have to vote for Democrat because you're that. And no, we're not bullied into feeling guilty for voting based on our beliefs or our religion. We can vote based on how we want and how we understand will best help our family and ourselves and our country. And so I think there are a lot of young and older Republicans and conservatives that may feel a little bit bullied. So we want to invite everyone to help out with the campaign, yehudisforcongress.com, and hope to see you out there.
Well, we hope to see you back here too. When is your primary?
The primary date is the 23rd of June.
20?
The end of June.
The end of June. Okay, so you'll be back. Yeah. We'll be promoting your campaign. Yehudis values are American values. We thank God for you.
We did get the Rockland Republican and the Rockland Conservative and Westchester nominations, endorsements, and so we're hopeful to get the Westchester Republican endorsement as well pretty soon. So we may not have a primary, but we'll see.
I hope that you don't have to primary. I hope that you'll be able to spend all of your money on the general campaign. You're wise and prudent challenger, and your pragmatism is what's needed here in Common Senseville, or the lack of Common Senseville, USA. God bless you. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yehudis Gottesfeld with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I am telling you right now, her pragmatism is the type of thing that you really need out of New York, not the AOC dribble. We'll be back with more of the best in urban conservative talk. You are watching the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. The best in urban conservative news and talk, TheExceptionalConservativeShow.com. We are a republic, not a democracy in this election year. We'll be back with more of the best right after these messages. And Dave, I want to tell you, sir, I'm offended. I will not respond more quickly to Katrina being on the air tonight than BZ. Wink, wink. We'll be back.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have